Welcome back to the Cartridge Twins, where today we're talking about Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rescue HD. After beating the first game, I have been absolutely hyped to jump into this one. So does it hold up? Spoiler alert, yes, it sure does. It was a blast, and I'm excited to talk about it, so here we go. Just to be clear, I love this franchise after only playing 2 games. I'm new to it, and I'm a little mad at myself for not trying these games out sooner. They'd been sitting on my shelf for a while. If you've played the first game in the series, then you know what you're getting into for this second game, Bush Rescue. So for the visuals, it's the same great old school cartoon feeling of the Australian outback. This time, the creators went for a more almost open world approach that I would compare to like PlayStation 2 era Grand Theft Auto games. And what I mean by that is in Ty 2, it's more mission based and you don't have to do those missions in any real specific order once they appear throughout the story. Also, each area is separated by doors with a very nostalgic sound for when you open them. Have you ever played GoldenEye? You have your intro area where you start each time you fire up the game, a town where you can purchase boomerangs and aesthetics, and then a driving area where most of the missions take place. Yes, that's right, a driving area. You hop into the back of a truck and you cruise around to different areas to tackle different missions. It was a nice new touch that separates it from the first game where it was more of a Banjo-Kazooie-like level layout. When it comes to the gameplay, it's much of the same when compared to the first game, and that's not a bad thing. Except now they've added vehicles and mechs, and there's boomerang differences, and a lot more of those unique, quirky characters that you know to just love. Don't worry, Julius is still here with all his technological knowledge and know-how. Oh, not you, Julius. A different Julius. The boomerang combat still feels great, and I once again will compare it to feeling like playing Ratchet and Clank. The camera still works in much the same way, so if you didn't like it in the previous game, you might not like it now, but I loved it, though I did have to raise the sensitivity this time around, because I just love having that quick camera. And of course, there's still a lot of great collectibles to find throughout the levels. Speaking of levels and all their different designs, the vehicle ones stand out to me and they add a nice break to the typical Ty gameplay, even if they aren't overly challenging. I appreciate the developers for adding these new ways to play. Like the mechs, they feel like a lot of fun for their respective areas and what you can do in them. The game's just jam-packed with things to do that kept me coming back for more. Overall, I gotta say, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rescue HD is an absolute blast to play on the Nintendo Switch. With its classic visuals, genuinely fun gameplay, and heaps of hidden items, it's a must-have for any fan of platformers or action adventures, which, if you've been watching this channel, you know this is my favorite genre. I gotta say, I did not 100% this game like I did with its predecessor, because I think this one didn't feel as linear in its gameplay, but that doesn't mean it is the worst of the two. I honestly am not sure which one I prefer. I flip back and forth in my mind while playing the second one, and it really just comes down to personal preference. Do you want a more linear Banjo-Kazooie experience, or do you want kind of a more attempt at an open world mission-based experience? And if you're trying to beat this game, and if you ever struggle a little bit, my biggest piece of advice for beating Ty 2 would definitely be to make the Megarang your most used boomerang. So what are you waiting for? Grab your boomerang and get ready for a wild ride throughout the Australian outback. With all that wonderful praise being said, what do you think? Do you enjoy the Ty games as much as I do? Should I play the next games in the series? I know they get a little different. Let me know. And as always, remember, without video games, things do not seem to go as well.